Welcome to the worst idea of all time, episode 15. Is that where we're at? 15. Quick math. We have now watched the movie Grown Ups 2 for a total of 25 hours.
Oh, holy shit.
My name is Tim Batt.
My name's Guy Montgomery. I'm trying to finish a fruit burst.
It's important to treat yourself when you're watching this film week after week. Thanks for joining us again. It's wonderful to have you here. We apologise for the irregular release schedule that's happening at the moment. Let's start the podcast with some shout-outs. Oh, man, I cannot handle hearing you chewing that close to my ear.
It's got no, hey, I'm Guy Montgomery. Obviously, this is the podcast in which we watch and review Grown Ups 2 once a week.
People get it. They get it.
No, some people will be tuning in for the first time right now.
All right, sorry.
They'll be going, oh, you hear about those guys? I've watched it 15 times, and they'll listen to it backwards. It'll be an interesting experience for them. Anyway.
Speaking of going backwards, I want to start off with shout-outs. It's unorthodox, it's unheard of, but I'm doing it.
Okay, first shout-out goes to Nick Tazinski, who says, this is like the who can punch each other in the shoulder longer than the other game I used to play with my brothers. You just keep getting hurt and punching and praying they'd give up first.
Brackets.
Please give up first. I can't take much more. Now, the way that you phrase that at the end, it makes it sound like you are also watching this movie 52 times, as if you're in competition with us.
I hope you're not, Nick. I really hope you're not.
And now, beneath that, we've got Regan McKinley, who's posted a photo. What's in the photo, Tim?
It's what looks like a mugshot almost of our man Higgins, David Spade, wearing a hat that says Kmart on it. And he looks terrible.
He looks old. He's on Norm Macdonald Live. Norm Macdonald, of course, he's actually one of my favourite comedians. His special, Me Doing Stand-Up's probably my favourite special I've seen in the last 5 years. Norm Macdonald, he does a live video podcast.
Was he the one who did that joke on Conan that you love?
The moth joke.
Yeah.
That is the one.
It's been doing the rounds on the internet.
He's actually, and he's
called the best joke ever told.
Really? Has it got a little second life?
Yeah, it has.
He also actually, funnily enough, he was an old Adam Sandler alumni, Norm Macdonald. You know Billy Madison? He was the tall, thin friend. The tall, thin best friend.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen Billy Madison in quite some time. Go on,
mate. Rekindle your, I don't know, your what was once a love for Sandler.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Guy?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. I'm good.
You big man?
I'm a big man. I'm just surveying what we've been through tonight so far. A packet of Shrewsburys, just hung into the fruit bursts, and we've both had 2.5 Steinlager Pures.
And a little something else.
On top. Just on a cherry. We've also had a cherry. So here we are. I mean, I'm going to be honest, Tim, the movie did nothing to me tonight. I was numb. I feel like I was going through the motions of a relationship. I felt like I was a jaded husband who's come home and my wife is there and we're both just looking at each other and we're thinking, why do we do this? We've both got so much to give. We're bigger than this. I mean, I don't like the person I am when I'm with you. I know you don't like the person you are when you're with me. And, I mean...
Are you talking to me now, or are you still in the metaphor?
I'm in a metaphor. Oh. And we can get and give so much more to society if we could just get outside the construct and the social pressure of us trying to make this thing work, when in reality this ship has sailed.
I feel like we're every week stepping on to a train that's on a circular track. It doesn't take us anywhere, but a mental disorder compels us to get on. Not dissimilar from like a obsessive compulsive disorder. Means it's Friday. That means at 5 o'clock I've got to get on the A train, and it goes around the loop. And all we've done is spent money and time to fulfill a sick in the head compulsion. We're sick in the head. I
understand the thinking behind that, Tim, but what I'm wondering is, I mean, how do you feel after watching the movie for the 15th time this week? It is, I mean, should we tell the people? It's 10:09 p.m. We had to do a late viewing. I drove back from New Plymouth to watch this movie tonight.
How long is that drive, Guy? Share with the class.
4.5 hours. It was 5 with traffic.
Fucking hell, man.
It's a long way to go to watch a movie.
What are we doing? We need to take a step back. What are we doing?
You've got to, before we address that, you've got to answer my question. 15th viewing, what were you thinking when you watched the movie today?
I was contemplative, and I tuned out a couple times, and I kept thinking about the theme song from St. Elmo's Fire and how awesome it is.
How does that go?
Oh, I was humming it to you before to try and remind you, but now
You
the tune's
didn't
gone.
do anything to me when you did.
I'll pull it up on my phone. Cover, pad.
Oh, okay. I mean, we don't really need to know it that badly. So what you're saying, Tim, is much like me. You were zoned out. You weren't really in the world of it. I mean, I even felt surprisingly somehow this movie actually flew by tonight. Like I felt like 1 second we're at the start, the next second we're at the party, and I mean it was a treat. It was a treat to watch the movie. This is probably of the 15 times this has been the fastest viewing for me.
Wow.
And it's also been.
There was a reason for that.
What's that?
You pegged out.
No,
briefly.
I didn't.
I looked over, your eyes were closed, and I had to hit you.
That was how I was watching it.
I don't know about you, man.
What do you mean?
Well,
I was watching it. I just had my eyes closed, but because I know it's like I used to do this when I watched. Wait, let me finish. I'm having a thought.
Sorry,
here.
bro. I'm trying to bring up the song.
So I used to watch Extras so much, the Ricky Gervais series Extras so much.
Oh, I'll try and get to the chorus. Oh. I don't think this is the original dude who did it.
I don't know this song.
I like where it goes. It's so good. You don't know that song?
I don't know this
I'm
song.
gonna leave it on in the background.
I was having a thought.
Yeah, sorry. What were you talking about?
I don't know. It's gone. I'm gonna eat a fruit burst in protest of the way you've been treating me on this podcast.
Now, an interesting thing's happening this weekend, Guy. Grown Ups 2, a movie which we have single-handedly popularised for the internet, is being picked up by Sky Movies, and they're chucking it on a half dozen times over Queen's birthday weekend.
Now, this is exciting. Tim proposed we do a live tweet viewing. Sadly, I'm going to be at Lake Rotawiti all weekend, escaping the trappings of city life. But Tim, you've bravely nominated yourself.
Well, I put it out there for both of us to do it, and then you weren't going to be here, so I don't
posited that you might be able to.
I posited the possibility of doing it at like a Twitter party, so we can all watch it and have a combined experience and share it.
I like
online.
the idea.
Me too. I need to check my availability. Because I got a couple of things. I got shit going on too.
What
Guy.
have you got on?
You're not the only guy.
What have you got on this weekend?
Some other people have things going on too. I got tons of stuff, bro. You don't even know. You don't even know about it.
This is a shit show. This whole podcast is going so poorly.
Do you want me to turn the song off? You can't deny that it's a great song.
I'll take out the fruit burst. You stop the song. Let's start at the beginning. Okay. Welcome along to the worst idea of all time with me, Guy Montgomery.
Me too.
This was our 15th viewing, and once again, we didn't bring in a guest. We didn't have any exciting way of watching the movie. It's just two guys in a room on a Thursday night just trying to get through 101 minutes of an Adam Sandler comedy vehicle. Now, Adam Sandler, we've been getting a few posts recently because of his frankness and his willingness to admit that some of the reasons he undergoes making these movies are not so genuine.
Yeah. He was kind of was it on Conan when he was asked?
Jimmy Kimmel,
he was asked, I don't know what he was asked, but it came out that...
No, he said, when you decide to make a film, do you say, I want to make this film somewhere where I can be on vacation? And Adam Sandler just straight out and out said, yes. And he said, I put the fruit burst back on.
Oh, you did, didn't you? You did that completely absent-mindedly, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
I appreciate you not chewing into the microphone. I'm sure our listeners do as well. There's something that occurred to me today. Who's listening to this, man? You know? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm talking to you, the listener. What are you up to, bro? You need to finish that fruit burst. So Adam Sandler's admitted that at least for the last sort of 10 years or so, he's really been phoning it in, and he quoted 50 First Dates with Drew Barrymore, which came out a good, 8 years ago or so?
Yeah. They pitched that the movie to be made in winter, and he said, why don't we do that in Hawaii? And they said, okay. And he said, this is too easy. And so it went, I just finished... Because, Tim, you stumbled into something... When I said I just finished, I was referring to the fruit burst. By the way.
Right. Even I was wondering what you were talking about.
No end to that sentence. Now, you were saying in the middle of the movie that you felt bad.
I do.
You had pangs of guilt for
I feel bad about what we're doing.
for ripping down someone's art, essentially. For
Yeah,
ripping it down week after week. Now,
could
you please expand on this theory for you? Because I had a rebuttal. I think I understood the germ or the basis of your point, but I'd like you to say it out loud for the listeners, then I'd like to have a conversation around it.
It's the same reason I hate all reviewers, because it's like, who are you, man? You didn't make anything. You're just critiquing stuff that other people make. And I know we need reviewers to sift the wheat from the chaff to mix a verb and a metaphor that doesn't fit with that verb. But I don't enjoy... This is why I did the Lou review. Many moons ago, a very fraction of our audience will remember that me and Guy presented a TV show on a channel that doesn't exist anymore, and I used to come in as a regular guest and I would review toilets. And it started as a little bit of a mini dig at people who review things, because I don't appreciate that they've made a career out of taking people's art down. And I feel like we've fallen into that hole somewhat by just being mean-spirited about something that a lot of people put a lot of time and energy into. I'm not into that. That's a negative thing.
I think using the word art in reference to this film is quite lofty.
You're doing it right now.
I'm doing it in response to you calling it art and saying ripping down someone's art when we haven't made any art. This isn't art. Every single person who was in this movie, the gaffer, the best boy, the bloody camera assist, all the soundies, the location scouts, everyone was cashing a check. No one was going to work every day, really invested in the product, saying, I'm going to make this the best grown-up toy I can. Everyone
we don't know that.
This is the equivalent of an office job as far as movies go. So everyone's just showing up to the office, they're going, God, I can't wait till I get home to my family. I'm just going to get through the day. I'm just going to do enough.
Okay, hold on.
This is the equivalent of the way that I'm sure you used to, and I certainly used to write university essays. I figured out exactly how much was required of me to get through without them asking any questions. That is how every single member of staff worked on this movie.
But
this is not a piece of art.
Listen.
You don't need to feel bad for making fun of these people who have been mailing in their job for a pretty decent paycheck.
We know that is true of the stars. We can see them. We can see them not working. But I don't know that that's true for everyone else in there. It's lit really well. It's a really well lit film. I can see everything that happens in it. Great lighting. Well done, lighter.
We've said that before, though. We've given props to all the production values. We've given props to the art department. Absolutely fantastic art direction, specifically in Chris Rock and Maya Rudolph's house.
That is a well-dressed set.
I mean, in terms of continuity, we're certainly learning more as we go along, but they've done a pretty good job for what is a very confusing and all-over-the-place movie.
Maybe there's some extras who poured their heart and soul into the role.
I don't think you need to know. The extras, no. They're terrible. You just...
What about they disrespected our friend Earth? Maybe he's pouring all of himself into that role.
Maybe acting isn't the career for him. Maybe speaking roles in movies isn't the career for him because he's got a really weird voice.
Hey, speaking of, boy howdy, and I'm going to quickly negate from the point I've just been making for the last couple of minutes, but how shit is Arnie's son in every second that he's on screen?
Patrick Schwarzenegger, he is a real dud.
He should not be allowed... in front of the camera. Because he can't do it. He can't do it.
It'd be a weird life, though, wouldn't it, being Arnold Schwarzenegger's son? I mean...
Well, especially the one out of the illegitimate...
Either way, though, say you're in this legitimate relationship, you grow up under the impression that your dad's a stand-up guy. He's a former bodybuilder, former movie star.
Do you not think he is a stand-up guy?
He's a Republican governor of California. No, he did the dirty, man.
Oh, yeah, but people make mistakes, man. But
he made a sustained mistake, which he hid.
Well, yeah.
And he did it several times over.
Did he?
Yeah.
Is there a few... Oh, you mean like...
And like, you grow up though, so your dad is idolized.
Sure.
He is worshipped.
Yeah.
And he's literally done so much. He's reached the pinnacle of 3 different careers.
Arnie's an amazing man.
You know that you have an inheritance, which means you don't need to worry about what you want to do. I mean, obviously you should, because otherwise your life's going to be aimless. It's going to be terrifying. Mm. But I mean, where does he go? Where does Patrick Schwarzenegger go? What are his career options?
You find your niche.
You went on
Look at Emilio Estevez.
What's he doing?
Well, he decided to do acting, but he did not take the Sheen name because he wanted to forge his own path, even though it was the same path his father took. That's probably a bad example. I'll try and think of another one.
I'm just wondering. I mean, what do you think, Patrick Schwarzenegger?
Well,
he's finishing high school.
Yeah.
He's finishing high school, right? Last day of high school. His guidance counselor says to him, "Hey, Patrick."
I don't know anything about the guy. Maybe he's a good painter.
You be Patrick.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, guidance counsellor.
Last day of school.
It sure is.
Your dad must be so proud. Is he going to be at graduation?
He's a little busy. He's trying to sort out the waste management situation in California.
Okay, good on him. Hey, I'm sorry we never got to meet during your time at the school. It was very unprofessional of me, but I have been wondering, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, I have a passion for painting, so I think I'm going to be an artist.
You're going to be an artist?
I sure am.
Wow.
I might not be good when I start, but I really enjoy it and I'm passionate about it. So I'm going to get better at it and keep doing it because I'm all about forging my own path.
How are you going to survive? You know, times can be pretty lean if you're an artist, especially a freelance one, learning the craft.
Well, Mr. Kuczynski, here's the great thing. I come from a very, very wealthy family.
But
you may have heard of us, the Schwarzeneggers.
Just moments ago, you were obsessed with forging your own path.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it can't be with a safety net of cash and inheritance lining the way.
Do you think you'll ever try anything apart from art?
I don't know what this roleplay is meant to prove on either side, to be honest with you. Where are we going with this?
I was just trying to have some fun.
Oh, fair enough.
I was trying to highlight that it was a tough time for Patrick Schwarzenegger.
But we don't have enough information about the man. Paddy, as they call him in the play. Paddy. Don't mess with Paddy. Do you know who his dad is? Arnie, bro. Shit.
What? This is a weird one. This is a weird podcast. What was your shining light?
You're a weird podcast. And my shining light, I wrote down because I knew I'd forget it. And here, oh no, I remembered it. I remember writing it down. It's when Chris Rock pulls out of the van and he's yelling at his son Andre. And who's about to take his driving test, and he's like, parallel park, look both ways, drive safely.
Don't
and then
do what I just did.
He pulls out and into incoming traffic. Don't do what I just did. And there's a really chaotic way that it's shot and edited, and it's like they just really nailed that moment. It's real good. It's a real good moment. You know it. You like it, eh?
I don't.
It's a good sequence.
I don't have an opinion on it.
What's your shining light?
We've probably used it before. Officer Dante. Somebody call the police. We're already here.
I think. Can we recycle shining lights?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to listen back to all the podcasts and see what I've used, so I'm just going to go with it.
Neither am I. Paint the scene. Come on, people don't watch the movie. We're the ones who watch the movie.
There's a real changing in the tide right now because I've been getting a lot of. My phone's been blowing up with people saying it's on Sky.
People keep threatening to watch it.
I'm going to watch it.
Like Jermaine Ross.
Yeah, he's going to watch
it. He was like, "I'm watching it this Sunday and I'm going to enjoy it." Like it was a threat.
This is the thing. I don't have Sky, so I don't.
You don't have a TV.
That's not important. What I'm saying is. These people who do have Sky, and I mean, naturally, if it's the weekend and you're not doing anything, you can't be bothered leaving the house to meet up with someone. That is the sort of movie that you would just stumble into on a Sunday, and suddenly, an hour and a half later.
Now, I want to talk about this for a second because some people may watch Grown Ups too, and go, Tim and Guy, fuck you guys, the movie's fine, and I would respect you for saying that because if you do watch it once, it's like. Yeah, but that's the very purpose why we picked the movie, because it's not bad enough to be fun, and it's not good enough to be enjoyed. So it's like the perfect middle ground of absolute mediocrity and just general laziness in filmmaking. Like if we were watching The Room 52 times, this podcast wouldn't work, because that would be it would be so shit that would be a fun movie to see a bunch of times. Yeah. And I've seen that movie personally like a dozen times.
Ironically, on the back of your theory, Tim, the reason that the movie isn't bad enough to be enjoyable is because of the high quality work being put in by the various different people behind the scenes on the production side.
If the production values of this film were shitter, it'd be way more enjoyable because you'd be like, oh my God, there's a booming shot there, there's a continuity error here. And there are a few, but none of them are huge. And there aren't as many as, some other Hollywood films.
Some other Hollywood flicks.
I was going to say blockbusters, but I don't think this broke any blocks.
From memory, Memento, not a single continuity error.
Fuck off. Really? With all that crazy backwards narration narrative?
That's what makes it so impressive.
Wowee. You've done your shining light. Oh, we do a top 3. What should we make it about this week?
The look of hope and this earnestness in your eyes is too much to bear. I mean, if we haven't even thought about what it's going to be during the movie, is it really worth doing?
Yeah. Top 3 reaction shots.
I can't remember anything in the movie.
Top 3 reaction shots. I'll go third and first. You go second.
Okay.
In the ballet scene, when they're all sitting down and Adam Sandler and Kevin James are transfixed by the hot ballet teacher and Salma Hayek's face reacting to Adam Sandler's face, she nails the scowl. Disappointed, disapproving, and yet it can't go too hard out because she's there to support her daughter.
Okay, good work.
Number 3. And number 2.
Number 2. Reaction shot of... Oh, for fuck's sake, man. I got... Reaction shot... It's not really a reaction shot. It's just it's a big reaction to try and mask the fact that there's no logical cut or edit point into the next scene. But after the yoga instructor, when Maya Rudolph and Chris Rock's 2-year-old son, what's his name?
The kid?
The doo-doo grenade kid.
I don't know. Does he get a name?
Yeah, he gets a name. Anyway, he pulls a jockstrap out of a bag, and it's a lady's jockstrap. And they're like, Selma Hayek and Maya Rudolph are obsessed with bullying this woman about her gender identity. And the lady goes, "That's not a jockstrap, that's a G-string." And then Maya Rudolph does this huge, tremendous fake laugh, like really blowing it out. And it's a powerful reaction. And I think in that reaction shot encapsulates a lot of the problems with the movie. It's quite funny.
You're putting that at number 2.
Yes, I am, because I don't give a fuck about your top 3. It's quite funny watching this movie this many times. It's kind of like, when you're in English and you're reading some reasonably modern novel or a recent movie, and your English teacher is making you read all this stuff into it, which just isn't there. Like, at the end of the day, it's just a rubbish movie that some people made to make some money, and that's it.
Lord of the Flies wasn't written with that many layers in mind.
Yeah,
it just wasn't.
Exactly, but this is what we're doing now. We're in the English classroom, and we're watching grown-ups too. No one from the movies making us do this. No one's making us watch it this many times.
Number 1. David Spade's facials when Kevin James burps nuts at him in the garage, and it accidentally is way smellier than he thought it would be, and he says the word bonus, and David Spade's reaction is warm, organic, and hilarious.
I thought that's a good one, because I thought your number 1 would have been there's that cutaway of a character who's not introduced or seen again. It's a reaction shot, isn't it?
He was my shining light last week, so I feel like that would be a double up. But you're very right, and you're very astute, and you're a great listener, guy.
Thank you. Well, Tim, have you got anything you want to say? I mean, how's your life going? Are you happy?
I want to stop watching the movie now.
No. Well, we're
I know we can't, but I'm saying, you're asking me, how am I doing? This is how I'm doing, guy. I'd like to never see the movie
to
again.
An interesting time soon, Tim. So on the 24th of June, I've got a flight to London. I'll be out of the country for 6 to 7 weeks. Now,
are you going for that long?
Yes.
Fuck.
Now, during this time, we're going to have to still do the podcast. So what's going to have to happen is we're going to watch it. We're going to have to sync our watch together on Skype and record the podcast through that. Now, that's pretty bad for you. But for me, a man who's never been that far away from New Zealand before...
this is really funny for you.
I'm going to be spending 3 hours... once a week, like in City X, in some fucking room,
some amazing
city. In the European summertime.
Yeah, you will.
Strapped to my computer,
and probably
watching
at a weird time.
With you. Yes,
because you'll be working around me.
Okay,
Mister.
I'd like to think there'll be some form of compromise.
Absolutely not. You're the one who bailed on the country, so I get to call the shots on when.
Anyway, I mean, exciting and interesting times.
I didn't realise it was... I thought you were going for like 3 weeks. This is a game changer,
mate,
folks.
You buy a ticket to London, you don't just come back after 3 weeks. It's so fucking expensive to get over there. You got to really...
Fair. How much you paying, man? What's the flights?
I've only bought a flight there. I haven't bought my flight back yet, but $1,110.
Oh, that's cheap. A bit of a deal, man.
If I get that same flight back, that's only like a $2,200 return flight to London.
But you won't get that amount back.
Mentally, I was looking at paying up to $3,000. You know, that's you're going to London. That's just how much you.
So you've saved yourself $800 if you get that price back. Yeah. But is it more expensive to return than it is to go there?
I don't know.
I feel like it is.
I don't know how cheap it is to move around Europe, but I think you can get like a flight from... I want to go to Stockholm to see a friend. I think you can get a flight from London to Stockholm for like 40, 50 New Zealand dollars.
Speaking of Stockholm, and we'll wrap up on this note, I think. Do you feel like at some point, maybe in the 30s or the 40s of our watches, that we're going to grow to love this film in a Stockholm Syndrome style, psychological breakdown?
I don't know that exactly will happen, but I think there is still so much time and space left for our relationship with this movie to change and grow. And I expect by the end of this movie, we're in an abusive relationship with a film.
Hey, here's a question: how are you feeling about me? Because not only do you have to watch this film another 37 times, but you have to hang out with me.
That's fine. As well. There's solidarity in what we're doing. My friend, this can be the final thing. After I drove back from New Plymouth, I stopped in at my friend's work on the way home, and he said to me, "What are you doing tonight?" I said, "I got to do the podcast." And he said, "You must be looking forward to that." And I said, "No." He said, "Well, obviously not the movie, but you must enjoy doing the podcast." And I sort of had to think about it, and I thought, no, I don't think either of us enjoy doing the podcast.
Not anymore. Used to.
How long ago?
Maybe 3 ago, 4 ago.
I mean, there's something in
Wellington
it I enjoy.
was fun, but that's because it was quite different.
We had guests a few weeks. I mean, I like you, Tim. I like you.
Thanks, Guy. I like you too. And I think I speak on behalf of both of us when I say we like you for listening, because there's no sense in listening. There's no sense in what we're doing, and there's no sense in what you're doing, but we're all here. We're all here doing it together. So like us on the Facebook page, Worst Idea of All Time. Get in touch on Twitter. I'm Tim_Bat. And he's
also Tim_Bat.
You're at Guy Mont, I think. Is it one word, or is there you've got an underscore, eh? Guy_Mont? Yeah, he does. And listen, we'll catch you next week. We love what you're doing. We hope you love what we're doing.
Stop the sign off.
And we're out of here. Cue REO Speedwagon.